Hey everybody, it's me, Malan D, and I help lost motherfuckers find their way in life. Because at one point in my own life, I was an extraordinarily lost motherfucker. So I write blog posts and I make videos to leave behind a trail of ideas for other people to learn from. Things I wish someone would have told me. But today I want to go over a blog post that I wrote recently about LSD and what it taught me about problem solving. So what I'm going to do is, because the post is already live, I'm going to read it from my iPad and then give some context as I go through it. This is one of my favorite posts that I've done to date, and probably the most true to me post that I've done so far. I'm also trying out a new hairdo. What do you think? So here we go. I'll just read from the post. It's called "What an LSD Trip Taught Me About Problem Solving." And if you don't know what LSD is, I'm talking about acid. If you don't know what acid is, Google those two things and you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a hallucinogenic drug. And let me just say real quick, I'm not condoning the use of drugs at all. In fact, after experimenting with drugs for a long period of my life, I no longer do any drugs or drink alcohol anymore. It got really, really bad. And so these days, I don't drink I don't drink any alcohol, and I don't take any drugs. So the story goes like this. When I was a teenager, some friends and I experimented with LSD. When you're a small town boy, bored out of your mind, and your buddy offers you the opportunity to interact with the fabric of the universe, you take it. Now, I grew up in a very small town in Oklahoma, Ada, Oklahoma. If anybody knows where Ada is, that's where I grew up. I had about 10 friends, and we were all kind of rock and roll kids, skateboard punks, and a lot of boys running around without dads, and we all became friends. So we started experimenting with drugs. We tried LSD many times, and a couple friends and I played with it pretty commonly, pretty often, for a period of about 6 months to a year. During one pretty heavy trip, my friend and I, who shall remain nameless, but he knows who he is, we were standing at opposite ends of a hallway in his apartment. He was on one end, I was on the other. And if you've ever taken a hallucinogenic drug, you'll know what I'm talking about. We were just standing there staring into each other's eyes, just staring at each other. And it went on for several minutes. It seems like it was minutes, it could have been hours. But at one point, I was staring at him, and then at one point I realized I wasn't staring at him anymore. I was staring at me. I was staring at myself through his eyes from the opposite side of the hallway. My brain was like in his head, seeing me from the other direction. And it sounded kind of weird, but after the trip, or after that experience, we shared the same story. We told each other, I mentioned like, hey man, you remember when we were in that hallway? I was looking at myself through your eyes. And he goes, man, I was looking at myself through your eyes. So we had a common experience. And to this day, I believe that for that moment, our brains, or our minds, or something switched places. So flash forward several years, and I'm watching a show called Celebrity Rehab, which was a reality show. The star was Dr. Drew Pinsky, and he helped celebrities go through drug and alcohol treatment live on camera for everyone to see. And in one episode, Dr. Drew's talking to a patient, an actor, a man, and the guy is completely screwed up, and he's having a hard time. Dr. Drew is having a hard time getting the guy to even answer questions. He's having a meltdown. So Dr. Drew pulled this masterful trick to get the guy to settle down and be able to talk. He didn't tell the guy, hey, can you calm down? Please calm down. Everything's going to be okay. That never works. That just makes things worse. What he did was this, and I paraphrase. Dr. Drew said, "You're an actor, right?" And the guy said, "Yeah, of course." And Dr. Drew said, "Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to act like you're a sane person right now." And the actor said, What do you mean? Dr. Drew said, "Using your acting abilities, I want you to act like a character who is not crazy and who is sane." And the guy thought, oh, okay, I can do that. And he started acting like a person who was sane. And right away, Dr. Drew was able to start asking him questions and figure out what the hell was going on. He answered him, and things changed immediately. And it was one of the most masterful Jedi mind tricks that I've ever seen done in real life. So those two experiences were many, many years apart. And present day, like today, right now, I do a lot of different things. As you probably know, I do online marketing. I'm religious about working out and going to the gym. I write music all the time. And then I post videos like this and I write things on my blog. I'm a pretty busy person. And each one of those areas of my life that I'm focusing on right now comes with its own unique set of problems. And just like anyone else, there are times when I get stuck. You know, things like for online marketing, what traffic source should I be on? What kind of offer should I be running? Or in the gym, you know, what workout routine should I be following? What diet should I be doing? Should I be cutting, bulking, or what? When I'm writing music, you get stuck like, what should I write about next? What should the song be about? And for the blog, I have to sometimes I get stuck. I'm like, I have no idea what to write about. What should I write about? But so I do a lot of things to get past that quote unquote, you know, writer's block or whatever, that where you don't want to go to the gym or you can't figure out what to write and you can't figure out what to do next. I have several ways of getting around that obstacle. And one of them is a combination of the LSD experience that I had where I switched bodies with my friend, combined with the Jedi mind trick that Dr. Drew put on that patient that he was trying to talk to. The goal of this video is for me to explain to you how I do it so that you can steal it and use it whenever you get stuck and can't figure out what to do next. It's pretty easy to do. It takes a little bit of time and imagination, but the good news is there's no drug use required and you don't need to go see Dr. Drew. So I'm sure you've heard the phrase, step into someone else's shoes. And that's pretty much exactly what I do. If I can't solve a problem, I will step into the shoes of someone who can. I'll imagine I'm another person who I think could handle the problem. So just like Dr. Drew had the actor act like a sane person, I turn myself into a person that can solve my problem. So if I'm feeling stuck on anything, this can apply to anything in life. It could be a social situation, walking into a party. It could be launching a new affiliate marketing campaign. It could be, you know, anything. And what I do is, when I feel stuck, I stop what I'm doing. I say, okay, I'm stuck, I'm beat, I can't figure this out, I don't know what to do. So who can? So I close my eyes and I think, who could solve this problem? And you know, one of the examples I give in the post is for writing music. So let's say I'm stuck on a song, I close my eyes and I go, who could finish this song? Let's say John Lennon. John Lennon could finish this song. And what I do is when I open my eyes as John Lennon. I'm seeing through his eyes, I'm in his body, I'm wearing his clothing, and I'm in his skin. I have his hair, I am John Lennon. And it takes a little practice, but when you get good at it, it's really kind of magical and powerful. So you close your eyes, you go, okay, I'm going to be John Lennon. Then you open your eyes and you're John Lennon, and you kind of let it sink in. And a lot of times, boom, a thought will pop in your mind, something that you may have not been able to think of, but that John Lennon would have thought of. And it gets you past your sticking point. You know, my example for the gym is if I don't want to go to the gym, or if I feel like I can't lift a certain weight that I have in front of me, I will close my eyes, open them, and I'll be C.T. Fletcher. And if you don't know who he is, he's, you know, billed as one of the strongest men on earth. He's an insanely huge guy from Compton, California, who is an insane bodybuilder weightlifter. If you look in YouTube and just look at C.T. Fletcher videos, and you'll see who I'm talking about. But I use him to solve my problem. And you better believe that when you open your eyes and you're C.T. Fletcher, who is an insanely, you know, gigantic bodybuilder, like monster strength, just huge guy, the weight in front of you all of a sudden becomes much, much easier to lift, because instead of me being a 157-pound white dude from Oklahoma, I'm like a 240-pound bodybuilder from Compton. So here's the key. I have my set of heroes or superheroes in my life, or people that I think could solve a problem. Like, for example, in social situations, I have a friend who is extraordinarily social. He can walk into a party and talk to anyone, and it doesn't matter if they're a celebrity or a supermodel or anyone. He could just sit there and talk with them and usually establish some sort of a relationship with them. I can't do that. I'm just not built like that. So if I'm having trouble walking into a party and I'm thinking, man, I really don't know what to do in here, I'll just go, wait a minute, what would he do? And I open my eyes and I walk in there and I start introducing myself to people and trying to have some conversations. And it works, it really helps. So for you, just fill in the blank with whatever the problem is that you're having and whoever you think that you can solve it, because we're all different, we all have different problems, and we all have different friends and heroes and idols that we look up to in certain areas that we can use. So the example thought script for you is, and you can write this down if you want, it's very simple. You think, I'm having a hard time with blank, but I know blank could do this, so what would blank do next? And you fill in, the first blank is the problem, and the next two blanks are the person that you think could solve the problem. Then you close your eyes, open them as that person, and start solving whatever problem you're stuck on. And it may take a few times for you to really get it, and you have to really get into it. You have to make this work for it to work. You can't just right now close your eyes, open them, and be someone else. You have to really use your imagination and let it sink in. Close your eyes and really turn yourself into someone else. And when you open your eyes, really try to feel like you're in their body. And then look at your problem, and that's when the ideas will pop up. But you have to really focus and try. So I'll finish with the post. It says stepping into shoes, which is what we're doing here. You're stepping into the shoes of someone who can solve your problem that you can't. Stepping into shoes helps you access parts of your mind that were previously unreachable. It allows you to solve problems that you thought were unsolvable. It allows you to see things from a different perspective and come up with ideas you may never have thought of. It's fast, free, and is fun. And it doesn't come with any side effects or flashbacks years down the road. So give it a try today. Here's how you do it. There are only 3 steps. Number 1, pick something you're currently struggling with. Number 2, think of someone else other than you who can solve the problem. And number 3, step into their shoes and do whatever they would do next. That's it. I have a link below to the actual blog posts if you want to read the post on my site, but that pretty much sums it up with some extra background info from me today. There is also a newsletter sign up at the top of the description. Click that link, sign up for the email newsletter, and I will email you updates for free in your inbox anytime I have a new idea or put up a new blog post or a video. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Malan Darras, and I will see you in the future.